always interested in meeting new people. And one of the reasons I joined the Pyramid Club 7 years ago was to start meeting people in a more professional setting rather than just going to meet somebody in a Starbucks. Or meeting people in spaces that are public spaces not best represent you as a person.
Welcome to People at Pyramid, a weekly podcast that introduces you to your fellow Pyramid Club members. My name is Vince Quinn, the Content Studio Director, and I'm here to showcase the stories of your fellow members, explore the ways that they can help you and your network, and make it easy for you to connect. With that, let's meet our next member.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim DiLorenzo, the principal of Jim DiLorenzo Public Relations here in Philadelphia, and I've been a member of the Pyramid Club since December 2017, so 7 years now.
And Jim, how long have you been in public relations for?
I started when I was in my late teens, and I've been a professional for over 40 years.
And with all of that experience, what would you say is the most important thing that members can take away when it comes to public relations with all of the work that you've done?
Well, I'm a big believer in the power of storytelling. In fact, my podcast is Storytelling with a Purpose, which you guys have helped me with here at the Content Club Studios. But one of the things I really focus on beyond the storytelling is making the connections with people. And a lot of people in public relations these days, as it's practiced, neglect the public and the relations in the title. And I really want to get out there with my clients and get their stories told to a public that's eager to hear good stories and eager to embrace good ideas. And that way, if I can introduce people to people and get a heart share, the mind share will follow.
So you're saying one of the biggest things is literally just shaking hands?
Shaking hands, kissing babies, or petting dogs. But going out there and meeting people, and that's one of the things that I love about the Pyramid Club is the ability to get out and meet people here, whether they're members or people that we're bringing in as potential members or just visiting with clients who have never had the opportunity to be here before.
So being in public relations, having all this experience, building a career on making connections with people. I mean, what are some of the common ways if I'm looking to make those connections? I'm not good at that. I'm not comfortable with networking. Jim, I'm not comfortable reaching out to people. Like, what are the different ways that I can go about doing it, and how do you do it?
Well, one of the things I've always tried to do is make the connections, do the networking, get out there. And when I find myself falling down on that job is when I say, I got to get back in it. I got to get back in it. And every once in a while you need a kick in the pants to do that. But we're afraid to jump outside of our comfort zone. We're afraid to go out and meet new people. We're meeting strangers. There is stranger danger sometimes. But in the professional world, in the business world, you need to get in touch with people. You need to make that contact if you're going to be a success, whether it's a startup, a growth stage, or a big business. If you're going to succeed personally, career-wise, professionally, you need to take that leap and go out there. I have a friend who's become a client and still a friend who we met because his purpose in going to a networking event that I was speaking at was, I'm going to look for the most interesting person in the room that I think I can make a connection with, and I'm going to focus on that one person in the room after I've stood in the back of the room for a few minutes sizing up the crowd. And I really thought, wow, that's really a unique way of approaching networking. But it worked for him, and it worked for him meeting me. I like to look at the list of people who are coming to an event or people that I see in the room and making sure I say hello to the people who I already know and have some type of relationship with, but also introduce myself to maybe they're having lunch with somebody. And, hi, my name is Jim. And it's the only way you can grow a network is by actively growing a network. You can't just sit back. Even during the lockdowns, I was actively using Zoom and LinkedIn to go out and meet people because I didn't have the opportunity to meet them directly in person. So I was able to meet people all around the country in that 18 months or so. I ended up having clients in California, Ohio, Florida, Toronto. I mean, I had clients internationally at that point, and it was all because of getting out there and making myself available even on Zoom and on LinkedIn. So you've got to make yourself available. You've got to make yourself public. You have to go out there and create relationships with these people. And that's one of the things that I like to teach to my clients in media training and public speaking training. Ways to facilitate conversation between interested parties, potential clients, customers. You really need to have that facilitation in there, and that's what I try to do for my clients, is introduce them to people, and maybe they can introduce me to other people, and just keep going, those conversations going, and keep growing the network.
So yeah, with all this connecting then, because I mean, it's interesting, right? It's not just that you're doing connections necessarily for yourself, right? As much as you are meeting people that benefit you, but half of your job is just, or whatever percentage of your job, a large part of it is saying, okay, well, I have people that I represent that could meet some other people, and let me go shake hands on their behalf. So, so when you're doing all of that, I mean, and just out of curiosity, how would you balance the value of the in-person or the calls, right? Like this face-to-face in whatever capacity conversation versus things like emails and texts and I don't know, DMing on Instagram or LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Like, how do you balance all that?
It's a very tough balance, but you need to work at it. You can't just let it just assume it's going to happen. So, as an example, we were at an event that you had here a few days ago, and I met two people for the first time at that event, and I want to make sure I have a connection with them. So I'm even exchanging a text message on during the course of the meeting saying, here's my phone number, reach out to me. And then I will follow up with them when I get home. But I want to make sure that I keep the conversation going even though I can't be with them all the time. So I look at social media, I look at email, I look at Zoom, I look at instant messaging. I look at that as continuing a conversation, not breaking in and starting something, but starting a conversation in person and continuing it through these other channels, and then re-engaging in person a couple weeks down the line. But I really value, and I really place a great deal of value on that direct face-to-face, and using the other tools as tools to continue a conversation, not to start a whole new conversation.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense, and I've done that too, right? I have times where, I hop on a call with somebody, and then it's just, hey, checking in, saw this thing, thought of you, hope everything's good. Nice, simple, clean, or even as simple as just liking stuff, commenting on something, just to say like, hey, I'm paying attention to you, I'm aware of what you're up to, and appreciate that work. Even if it's not like direct business, it's just like, hey, I'm aware of what's going on, and then eventually it makes it easier to reignite those things and go, hey, it has been a while. Like, let's sit down and talk. Let's catch up. Let's grab lunch, coffee, quick phone call, whatever it might be.
Exactly. Everybody has a lot going on. Everybody has a lot that they're trying to do. And in the relationship space and in the PR space, one of the things that entrepreneurs and people who are starting a business or people who are trying to manage their business lose sight of is they think, once I've got the company up and running, I'm just going to sit back and, keep churning out sales calls and keep doing, but they're not making that warm-up call, or they're not making that in-person visit, or they're not going out there and meeting people to tell them their story. So what I try to do is help them learn how to tell that story, and I help them find the person they can tell that story to that might be a potential customer, partner, investor, friend, colleague, employee, whichever way it wants to go. But you have to meet that person. You really have to do it. I had a meeting a couple weeks ago with someone who I've been wanting to get back in touch with for years. Years, I'm talking. And I hadn't seen him since before the lockdowns. And we got together for lunch, and I was very nervous about it. I was nervous about it all week. And we got together, we had a great conversation. We talked about what we might be able to look at together. And then at the end of the conversation, at the end of the meeting, I got up to shake his hand, and he got up to give me a hug. And I was like, okay, this means something. This is a good thing. I was nervous, but it worked out great. And I'm so pleased when that happens because it means that I've connected with them. I've made an authentic connection that hopefully for both of us will be beneficial.
Yeah, and that's what you do, right? Is making these beneficial connections. So for the members who are listening in, obviously that's the kind of work that you can do for them, make connections on their behalf, help them tell their story in a better way that builds more connections and can drive revenue. And beyond that, I want to flip the tables a little bit because, I mean, look, we all have things that we can do for people, and we all have things that we need help with. So whether it's just a casual conversation or whatever it might be, I mean, what are some of the things that members in this club can help you with, Jim DiLorenzo?
Well, I appreciate that, and there are definitely some things I would like to do. As I mentioned, I'm always interested in meeting new people, and one of the reasons I joined the Pyramid Club 7 years ago was to start meeting people in a more professional setting rather than just going to meet somebody in a Starbucks or a corner bakery or all the other places that when we're startup entrepreneurs and we're just getting out there, we're meeting people in spaces that are public spaces and might be not best represent you as a person. So because of the atmosphere here at the club, I really enjoy bringing people here to meet, continuing to meet with people here, and meeting with people who are already here. So what I would love to do with my fellow members is meet with them, get their ideas, share my ideas, see what their problems are, and maybe I can help them. But also, if there is somebody I'm looking at maybe perhaps people who are in VC or investments in small businesses and entrepreneurs. A lot of my clients right now are small businesses that are startups in tech spaces, and they're always looking for people to get in with them and help them out for certain needs, whether it be marketing, an investment that will help their marketing or help their ramp up. I would love to be able to introduce them to my clients, but I would also love to be introduced to their clients, kind of like to facilitate conversations from both sides where it's mutually beneficial for all of us.
Makes a lot of sense. And if you want to get in touch with Jim, by the way, you can do that through the member app. So different links to social media and email, like it's all in the member app. So you can go check it out and connect with Jim there. Jim, before we wrap things up, any other final things that you'd like to talk about? And anything you think that value that people can take away?
The storytelling aspect of what I do, why I think it's so important is because everybody loves a good story. Everybody loves a good story. It could be the silliest thing, but if you hear a story that you like and it warms your heart, then you're much more engaged, and it's an authentic engagement. And that engagement develops a relationship. And so in my view of public relations, it's the storytelling to get a relationship with an intended audience, a target audience. And that way you build your business, you build your brand, you build your awareness, and at the same time you're building people's heart share and then their mind share. So that's where I go with my public relations practice. And that's the way I have found success, especially over the last 25 years as a solo entrepreneur.
Well, love it. So Jim DiLorenzo of Jim DiLorenzo Public Relations, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Vince. I appreciate it very much.